Well, welcome back to a video on the falling lights in a tube, how to assemble a WS2812B LED strip into an acrylic tube and a 3D printed stand. And here's a quick one, just a quick look at the part drawn in FreeCAD. I only drew one arm. This part, well, there's the arm or leg if you want to call it, and this part goes round the acrylic tube that comes down from here, and this provides the stand, and here are the bits. So if I take the display away, move these into here, and these simply go together like this. This bit probably wasn't the best way of putting it together, but yeah, the bench is a bit wobbly, but you can see the thing. They all go together like that and form the stand. Pause for a minute. Here's the Perspex tube. It's half a meter long. Actually, no, it's a meter long, I think. Correct that. And then it goes in there and in there, and so stands up like that. And the LEDs, if I move it out of the way, the WS2812B string will be pulled down inside the tube. But the next thing to be done is I have to put the tube into the body and mark a hole. Bit of a, don't know how well this is going to come out, but a bit of blue paper or sticky tape to hold it down. As the next thing is, I need a place for the wire to come out that's not out the bottom, because that will be flat with the surface it sits on. So I'm not sure if you're going to see this very well. But basically, we're going to drill a hole. Luckily it seems to go through the Perspex or acrylic, I think it's acrylic, without much damage, and just make it, oh, I had a crack then, a bit bigger. And it's only got 2 wires coming out, supply, that's quite good enough. Yeah, there's a few little cracks, but I don't suppose they're going to matter much. The tube's plenty long enough, so if it does crack, I can just cut it down. But try and get the end of it off, get the bits out. So there's the hole, and that's where the cable's going to come out. Part of my problem is I wired these up so that they were hanging from the ceiling and not standing up. So what I've got to do now is take the wires off here, keep the yellow one on, because that's the feed-in point, and then run the yellow one down the back and put a new feed-in point this end, so it's powered from the bottom but fed the signal from the top. I won't bore you with that. I'll come back when that's done, because you won't want to see me unsoldering it, unwinding this, taping that down there. So we'll come back when that's finished. And I'm just going to solder the power leads on now. The power leads are on this end. Just tack them on. Doesn't have to be pretty. If you can hear me, I'm not sure I've done the microphone. Had a slight issue. My yellow wire wasn't long enough, so I've just tacked on a piece of red wire just to get it down to the PCB. And now we're just going to put the final bit of Kapton tape around the end to keep that secure. I've already joined 2 wires for the power, and let's put the microphone on. This was the test board where they all hang off before, and this is the Arduino that drives the lights. But to get it in the tube, I need to cut the legs off. Yeah, there's only going to be 3 connections to this: power and signal. And with the legs trimmed like that, it just about fits inside the tube. Now, the little black mark on the board there, if you can see it, that's pin 1. So there's pin 4. So I'm just going to stick it in there, make sure I get it right. Pin 4. So that's pin 4 there. I have to change the focus. Hang on a second. Change the focus. And we'll solder that. That's pin 4. That's pin 8 for the power, the opposite corner. And we're just going to dab them on. We're not going to go mad and wrap them. I normally do, but I'm trying to keep the sort of profile down and make it simple. So it's just a matter of sticking them on like that. A bit of solder. And then what is the signal one comes down and it joins pin, it goes on to pin 5. I changed the colour to red because I can't remember where the cable came from, and it's a very nice thin flexible cable, but it's, as you can see, it's pretty temperature sensitive, so it's always best just to run it, let the insulation run up when you're tinning it, because that way it kind of runs up as far as it's going to, and then when you cut the bit off, I now know that when I solder this on, the insulation is not going to run mad like it did earlier. It'll run a bit, that's on, but it's not going to run mad. So I've kind of pre-worked it. Right, so that's that bit. These will fold over and come down. I don't need those ends on anymore. So that's how it looks. So the next problem is getting this down the tube. You see, I made a little loop there. So what I'm going to do, when I get to the end of it, is I have some nylon waxy cable, which is for cable form making, and hopefully I left an end just big enough for the loop, yep, to pass that through, and I'll tie that to the loop, just a double knot, I think, because it's going to stay there, as it's going to be used to hold the cable, well, the LED strip in the pipe. And then to get it down the tube, I just use a drill bit and wrap it round itself. This is waxy, so it will, if you pull it tight round this round, it will kind of stick to it. And then it's just a matter of putting it into the tube and letting the weight of the drill bit pull it down till it comes out the other end. And then once it comes out the other end, I can start, whoops, it's getting out of view. It's not something I can easily show on camera, but you know, that's now going to feed the strip down the tube. Tube is slightly longer than things, so I'm bringing it roughly up close to the top, but there will be a little cap at some point over the top. And currently, until I make the cap, just a little bit of painter's tape to hold that on. Don't need too much of that anymore. Get rid of that. And then you'll see at this end, I did believe I have a bit too much wire, but this just has to go. I should maybe have put a bit of thing on here, so a bit of tape on here so I can pull the tape down, but we'll see how it goes. It's a matter of getting board inside the tube. And then I just use what I do with a drill bit. I just use the drill bit to push the board just past the hole, and then it's just a matter of putting a slight upward bend on the wires, and they come out through the hole. The next stage is to move that out of the way, open this up and remove the top one, because the top one has to slide down. It's quite a tight fit, but it slides down over the tube. Put the tape back on. Now we just slide that down, slide that into there, and then put them. I do apologise for that. I should really have moved the camera. But put them back in there. This tube's a little bit loose, so I might have to put a little bit of glue in there or a little bit of hot melt, something just to hold it in place. And then that has become the stand. What I'll do now is I'll power up 3 of them and change cameras and give you a look of what they look like actually running. Well, there you go. Not the best picture, but there they are, running side by side. It doesn't pick up the colours very well. They were kind of bright white, and then the tail is red to sort of orangey yellow, and then it kind of flickers a little bit as it hits the bottom. But they have been seen before on the channel. I think the video was called Dropping Lights. So I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did making it. Catch you later. Just a quick outside look of what they look like through the window. I was just having a quick demo to see how it went, and I think they look quite good. I think I need to make some more.